Welcome to Live on KEXP. I'm Jyoti B, and I host a weekly world music show called WOPOP, where we showcase cultures from all around the whole world every week. This is KEXP, listener-powered. None of the things we do here at KEXP could be possible without the support of listeners just like you. We stream 24/7 at kexp.org and the KEXP mobile apps. Today in the studio, I am delighted to welcome Blick Bassy, who will be performing songs off of his 2023 album, Madiba, which actually made my top 10 list last year. Take it away, Blick. This is KEXP.
Hola Mè, nano di meta, Hola Mè.
You're listening to KEXP.
Songi pam kere anga limbe kwa Songi pe memu kere sangre ka di nano timbe leno kang bibi pol di nano rie male kang bibi pol Nano
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Blick, please introduce your bandmates and tell us a little bit about the gifts they bring to your creations.
Yeah. So I'm so happy to have those amazing musicians. We were touring in my last previous album, 1958, and we together on this one as well, on keyboard, trumpet and vocal, Monsieur Arno Casanove from France. So we met, that is almost 4 years now, and we start working on my different project. And we were working, producing together my last album, Madiba, on Erae and part Monsieur Romain Jovion from France.
Lovely. So the meaning of your 2023 album, Madiba, is water. Can you talk to us a little bit about what this album means to you and the message that you want to share about water?
Yeah, and my previous album was 1958, and 1958, before My Diva, was an album, a kind of tribute to the Cameroonian freedom fighters who was killed during the colonization period by the French army. And after this album, I wanted to understand why human being could go from a place to another and bring some capitalism system, imperialism system, colonialism system. And finally, I understood that as soon as we create the living element chain, then the chaos is taking place. That's why I decided to write a whole album to water, water like a living element, but also because every living element are made by water. Human beings are made by something like more than 75% of water. And this album for me is also kind of message where I would like just to say that when we're gonna start to play our real role, what is contributors to make this world beautiful, living element, human being, animals, but also some other living element, then things gonna change. And for me, water is kind of representing all those living elements. That's why I wanted to warn human being that we're living in a beautiful place, what God and nature gave to us. What do we want to make with this? Do we want to play with capitalism, play this game, or we just really play our real role, what is being contributors? And like Ubuntu philosophy in Africa is saying that every human being is important for the others, so everything is linked. That's why I wanted to just call human being, especially what we see, what is happening to our world today. People are dying in different space, different places, war between human beings. What finally do we want to build together as we just made for love and by love?
What a beautiful message to be able to share the importance of this element that we all depend on for life. Thank you. So, you've shared previously how in your earlier years your father sent you to live with your grandparents in your town of Mintaba. Can you share a little bit about this experience? How did it influence your art and music?
I was lucky to be living and grow up in a small village with my parents and my grandparents as well. And at this time, I wasn't aware about what was happening, but my grandfather wanted just to give me kind of traditional education, to speak my mother tongues, but also to understand how everything was linked. I was kid, but so at this time, for me, it was just something normal. And he taught me a lot of things. He showed me the importance of trees, because before to cut every trees, there is a kind of and prayers. People are talking to the trees and asking some excuse because they want to use it to build some houses. But also my grandfather was just living without money. My mother was giving to him something like 20,000 francs CFA, what is something like $30. And he was using this just at the end of the year during the Christmas period. But before that, he didn't need money because everything what we were eating there, we were doing everything by ourselves. And people also was exchanging, foods and everything. And when we see what is happening today, when I arrive in France and I start meeting different cultures, living in these kind of huge capitalism places, finally all those sent me back in the hard way to my childhood when I understood that finally, do we really need all this? And also in my creativity, I wanted all those education gave me the inspiration because when I arrived in Europe, I was asking to myself, what can I bring to those people who looks like they have already everything? And finally, my culture, my education, everything I had in my bag was what I have during what my grandparents and my parents gave me when I was a child. It was my culture, it was my tradition, but also my singularity as we are unique. How could we make it alive? How could we show our uniqueness when we're living in a cities in a space where the standard is a kind of in the main of the education. They want everyone to look alike. They want everyone to speak in the same way. How could we make alive our uniqueness, our singularity, what is making every human being amazing and beautiful? So all those things came really hardly when I arrived in Europe and my education was in the middle of my creation and everything.
That's really lovely. Thank you for sharing. That reverence for nature really shows up in your music. So it's nice to hear that backstory. So asiko is one of the traditional types of music that comes from your tribe. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, in our village, in our, I think in most of African countries, dance is creating music. People start dancing because we're dancing every time, because dancing is mean being alive as well. And in my tribe, Bassa tribe, Asiko is first a dance. And this dance is coming from a woman who are dancing and, in the beautiful way. And then the music was created after that, and the creation was coming from the movement of the bodies of women, and this made this kind of beautiful music as well, what is really combined with dance. And I really find that everything when it comes to art, it's used to be, linked to how people are just doing things in the cultural way, in the social way, without thinking that it's an art. It's first a way of life. And so Asiko is coming from this kind of way of life because we're having dance in different moments in our life for the birth, for the healing, but also for the marriage, wedding, and transition and everything. Dance is really present. And this is just the kind of celebration of life. And Asiko's came from this life celebration, and become a kind of popular music from Bassa tribe.
Beautiful. So your tribe, the Bassa tribe, has a language as well. And in the past, you've spoken about the importance of native people to preserve their languages and to tell their own stories in their languages. So tell us and our audience, what is the story that you really want to tell about your culture, your music, and how does your language play a role in that?
First, this language is the first word is really built my brain. I'm thinking in my Bassa language, Bassa tongue, and also what is beautiful is that every language has a melody. English have a melody, French have melodies, from the intonation, and my language Bassa also. When I start singing, I was asking to myself, what can I bring, in this music industry by singing do I have to do like American, like being a kind of fake American or fake French? You know, when you're living in those countries, we try to go to all those things what are looking sexy, and America is really amazing for the storytelling. So living in Cameroon, I was everyone at this time wanted to be like young American, you know. And I started to sing in English, and finally I was asking to myself, okay, they have a lot of beautiful, amazing singer. What can I bring? Maybe I have to use my language because my language have already beautiful melodies. Just when you're speaking the language, you can really hear those melodies. How can I use them in my art? So I started using it. And finally, I understood also that we're living in a country called Cameroon where we have more than 260 different languages and as official language, French and English. So I wanted to warn Cameroonian government to start teaching more biggers because I'm sure that in next years most of them gonna disappear. So singing only in Basa is also kind of form of resistance. How could we keep those languages, those tradition? And I was talking about being unique, all those information element helping and giving strength to our uniqueness. How can I use all this to show the beauty of the world? Because as I was saying, the work is so rich and we have a lot of diversity. How could we keep those diversity alive? And for me, using this language in my creation is also trying to keep it alive and warning families in Cameroon to try using the language. But it's also, as I was saying, when you were living in those countries, you really want to look like what looks sexy. So being yourself something, people are ashamed to speak the language, to be themselves. So keeping it also is just to say that I can be everywhere. I'm here today in KEXP and I'm singing in my mother tongue because I'm just myself. So being ourselves is the most beautiful gifts that we can have. So that's why I'm going to keep singing in this beautiful language.
I love it. And it is a melodic and gorgeous language. So thank you for keeping it alive for all of us today.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. That's all the questions I have. Blick, it's been such a pleasure to listen to you and your bandmates today. Blick, Arno, Romain, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us here.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Live on KEXP. Subscribe to our YouTube channel now to get notified of all of the magical performances that will be posted in the future. All the performances shared by KEXP are made possible by listeners like you. So please consider joining our community of supporters and amplifiers and make a visit to kexp.org where you can make a gift today. You've been listening to Blick Bassy live on KEXP. Thank you for being here.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.